Isn't there just the create button?
You have the magic wand. That's so not professional. Alright. Magic wand button.
It's the make pretty button.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay, so today's Dot Com Pho is we're hosted at the Spud Shack CA, which is in the Westminster SkyTrain station. And as you can see, everybody's already furiously eating their poutine. That is the Vancouver's best poutine. It's a bacon poutine with I'm not sure what the fritters are made of. Bacon fritters.
Awesome.
They're just made of awesome. And then you add some gravy and cheese on top of fries, and we have found Canada's national food. We also had a salmon and chips. Gone.
Oh wait, Lexi still has some.
Oh, Lexi still has some.
There's some bits of it.
There you go.
You like it?
What did you get? What's yours?
You like it?
Cod.
And Michael.
Mike has a cod piece.
Three actually.
He's got the cod and poutine. And it's something nice about this place is that you can actually you can change it from, instead of having fish and chips, you can have fish and poutine, which not a lot of places will do. And the owner, Dan Close, is more than willing to give the customer what they want. For example, mine is the Montreal smoked meat, the corned beef sandwich. Pure wholesome goodness. And I got that with a small poutine. So here we are, Spud Shack CA.
I wouldn't say I'm on a diet, but I don't want to eat too much, so I opted for a healthier option and a regular salad. Well, it's actually sautéed with sausage and bacon, so it doesn't really count, as your regular healthy salad.
Not your healthy salad.
But it's really good. And I also got the small poutine with bacon fritter, and bacon fritter is pretty awesome. Apparently, Alan over there, not to be outdone by anyone else, has also ordered a small poutine after his first course of a large poutine.
Oh, this is his second poutine.
So, Galaxy S4. Who else is underwhelmed?
I am underwhelmed.
Are you also underwhelmed?
I didn't know there was a Galaxy S4. I know there was a Galaxy S3S announced this week.
Well, technically it's not an S3S because it doubled the power. If it was somewhere in between, it would be an S.
I think part of the problem is that we already knew everything about the S4 before they had their big event to say about the S4. We already knew it was going to be a 5-inch screen. We already knew it was going to have the 13 megapixel camera and stuff. So like what I'm finding is that Samsung is dealing less with the actual hard specs anymore. Like as long as it's kind of up to snuff, no one really cares. Because then the presentation was like an hour long.
They spent one sentence talking about
it was like
specs.
one sentence talking about here are the specs.
That sounds very Apple, to be honest.
And then the next 45 minutes were like, here are all the new apps and new features that we're rolling out, like the drama shot,
S-Translate, and
S-Translate. Oh, you mean Google Translate? Yeah.
First of all, I want to see them get 4 S4s in one, 7 people with S4s in a room, so they can all sync their music together.
Or the group play thing?
Yeah.
I don't understand the group play thing, but like
it's a good demo feature.
Yeah.
Or the health thing.
S-Health, and then they have all those different camera apps, like be able to use both cameras at the same
Front
time.
view, rear view, merge view.
Why would you need to use both at the same time?
So that you can
the person taking the picture can be in the picture.
Yeah.
But he's not in the picture.
But he's not in the picture because he's in the picture-in-picture.
Yeah. That's kind of ridiculous. I think my biggest concern with the S4
Are you
is
shooting the mirror of yourself?
Yes, I am.
That's genius.
Yeah, I think my concern with the S4 is that it's still made of plastic. Why have they not made it?
Stop pretending to use quality materials.
Yeah.
Well, they
actually make quality materials. Why do they keep using cheap feeling things? I mean, why they keep positioning it as a luxury premium product? Exactly. Why is it still made of plastic?
They made a point twice of discussing that it was made out of high quality polycarbonate, which is just
plastic.
Which is plastic.
Thanks.
Plastic.
So,
yeah, exactly. Why?
I'm actually impressed with the new drop protection system. It's called S-Hit. Because this polycarbonate plastic is really durable, very durable. S-Hit.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, what I'm hearing now is that more and more Samsung might move towards more the Amazon model. You know how like the Kindle Fire is running on Android, but not really.
So
Android?
they want to sell. They want to make their own. They want to make money on the marketplace, not on hardware.
Well, because the Amazon Kindle Fire is running on Android, but it's a heavily skinned Android that's not even really Android anymore. Okay. And you don't have access to the Google Play Store. You have access to the Amazon App Store. Yeah. So what Samsung is trying to do is that they have all these unique software features that aren't available on other Android phones, so that they'll get more and more so that with TouchWiz and stuff like that, it gets so heavily skinned that it's still Android as the foundation, but they're building so much on it that they might even move away from Google Play altogether.
It'd be like Linux building a.
And trying to build their own Samsung App Store, which they have, that no one uses.
It's like taking Unix,
So they can have
turning it
100%
into
better.
OS X, and then putting a store in it.
Yeah. So
That's what I.
So overall, we're quite disappointed by the S4.
Well, it's just not disappointment, just not overwhelmed.
yeah.
I mean,
guess.
am I going to line up and buy an S4 now? No. Was I planning on it? Maybe.
It still looks like an S4, basically.
It looks like an S3.
Looks like an S3.
It looks just like an S3.
It's the
but
same problem that
slightly
Apple
bigger.
has right now. The next two phones will look exactly the same.
I think like what we were discussing earlier is phones are where they need to be. We don't need any more from a phone. With 2 gigabytes of RAM, a quad-core processor, that's plenty of computing power for
I don't know. I always want more.
For now.
I always
For
want
now,
more.
the form factor obviously hasn't changed. Apple keeps copying themselves. Obviously, Samsung keeps copying themselves. The only one that's done anything recently of late is the HTC One, and nobody even knows about that because their marketing
HTC,
budget's like
yeah.
$5 a year.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what Google, the X team, comes out with.
Oh, for the Motorola phone?
Yeah.
The rumor with the Motorola phone is that it could actually be a series of phones, and the one that was leaked with, I think, a dual-core or quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, etc., was going to sell for $199 outright
Wow.
to the Google Play Store.
That's insane.
That's a good price.
Because then, if that turns out to be true, then that means that the Nexus 4 as a quote-unquote high-end device at $350 outright was a tester to see if they were able to handle the distribution channels
Right.
and all that kind of stuff.
So Google's
They're getting
getting
the
more
hardware bit.
expensive, and Apple's trying to get cheaper. Is basically what it's called. Well, Apple's trying to put out a cheap phone, right? So Google's trying to get
going
more
in both
expensive.
directions.
Yeah.
They're going cheaper with the X phone through Motorola.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about a couple episodes of Dot Com Pho where we talked about the Chromebook Pixel.
Yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
Google, and they're going like completely the other end with Chrome OS, right? So
All right. So I'm still gonna buy an iPhone.
says every Apple fanboy, regardless of what anything the iPhone has. Like, I'm getting the next iPhone. Do you know anything about it? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
It's still going to win in build
I don't know.
quality.
My way of thinking about it is
heard
I need to see the next version of hardware before I make any decisions.
Hopefully the next iPhone has the rumored, or the next iPhone has the rumored 5-inch screen, and not this way.
Not a longer 5-inch screen,
but
an actual
like,
usable
like
5-inch
an
screen.
S3, S4 style size of screen.
But 4 inches is perfect. What they found was that it was optimal.
They said 3.5 inches.
Oh, that's what's
And then they went to
perfect
4
too.
inch.
But the pursuit of perfection, isn't that where it ends?
So Vance, you've never had poutine before?
No, never. This is the first time, and it's actually not as bad as I thought.
You didn't think it was going to be very good?
No.
I mean, how could it be bad, Vance? It is French fries with gravy and cheese.
I'm surprised that the cheese is actually curd.
Yeah.
So that's kind of light
That's
cheese.
the way it's
so-
supposed to be. Yeah.
So it's not as bad as I thought. Not bad.
Vance, how long have you been in Canada?
I don't know.
Because
Around 30 years or
Because
something.
30 years, this is our actually, you know what? Poutine hasn't been our national dish that very long. It's only been, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't used to have it like forever.
Well, Vance's poutine version no more. Ready? Yep.
I'm here with Megatech News, and this is the Samsung Galaxy camera. Very simply, it is a takeoff of the Samsung NX200 and a Samsung Galaxy S3. Very easy to use, very simple to hold. Nice pop-up flash, which you don't find in the Galaxy. You have 16 megapixels with I believe it's a 15 or 16 times zoom lens, so about 28 millimeters out to around 400 millimeters. So a very good range. Definitely much more than you get with any of the iPhones or portable cameras.
Cool. What's so special about this? Like, it's got a Android interface?
Well, now it's got an Android interface right here, just like you see on a Samsung Galaxy S3. Hit the camera button, and you don't go to your 8 megapixel camera, you go to your actual camera screen here. You've got different modes. You've got your full expert modes. If you go to manual there, you can adjust the ISO. You can adjust the ISO, which goes from 100 to 3200. Even ISO 1600 is very usable. You can adjust your exposure compensation when you're not in manual. Your aperture and your shutter speeds can all be adjusted. If we go back here, we've also got scene modes or smart modes, macro, action freezing, various different modes and colors and filters that you would find on your modern day phones these days.
Does it take a SIM card at all? Can you just data uplink from?
All this has Wi-Fi and 3G connectivity in the camera itself. If you open the bottom here, we've got room for an expansion slot. The camera itself comes with 8 gigabytes of memory, but you can add a SIM card up to a micro SD card up to 64 gigabytes, and it's got a slot for a SIM card. As they seem to be, as this one in particular is unlocked, I just popped in my Rogers SIM card, and on the go I can upload photos to Instagram or Facebook right as I take them. Your Instagram pictures, obviously coming from this camera, are going to be a lot better than anything you see coming out of an iPhone or an Android device, like an Android phone. What I like about this is it's nice, it's small, it's compact, fits in my hand very, very well. My only beef with this is that it does not have the radio band. You can use Skype, you can use VoIP, you can use Viber, so you can make phone calls and you can talk. But not real phone calls with an actual SIM card. If they put the radio band in here so you could actually use the SIM card, I would buy one of these just so I could have to take on certain occasions when I wanted a better camera than what a phone could provide me with, and the ability to make a phone call if it was an emergency or something like that. Other than that, hands down, $500. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice camera, and it's got all the Android 4.1.2 OS Jelly Bean, so you can do all your Facebooking, your Twittering, you can check your Google, your Gmail, everything right on the camera.
So it's called Samsung Galaxy
camera.
Yeah. All right, and that's the gadget of the week. Steven, are you going to name your kid Tiberius?
Isn't that awesome?
That's a pretty awesome name.
Tyler Berius Fung.
Tyler Berius?
Tiberius.
Tyler Berius Fung.
This is make fun proof. Oh, I'm going to go make fun of Tiberius. Who? You're not going to make fun of that kid.
You're not going to make fun of a kid named Tiberius.
Like, what the?
Yeah.
Tiberius will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Tyler will mess you up.
You do not want to screw with Tiberius.
Tyler comes from.
Lexi, what do you want your little brother to be named? Do you have a name for your little brother? Potato. Potato? That's not how it goes? Is that what you said? Pie? You've already decided? Tiberius? Apple. Okay, that's a good name.
High five.
You can. So you're now Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. It's important that Apple only uses Android products.
Yeah. Okay, Steven, how do you feel about that?
Andy the Android is his friend.
So you're gonna have one Android kid and you're gonna have one Apple kid.
Microsoft. Poor Microsoft.
When are you gonna have a BlackBerry kid and like a Microsoft kid?
Kelly might have some explaining to do if he has a BlackBerry kid.
Apple? Is that good, Lexi? Apple? Your little brother, you want him to be named Apple?
Or do you want to name him little brother?
No, Apple sounds good. Apple, call him Apple MacBook Pro. That's gonna be his name. Macaroni. Why doesn't Apple have a product called the Macaroni?
Because it's trademarked.
Yeah, bacon. I'll call him banana.
Great name.